Meet recording artist Maddie Cedar.
It's going to be a demo, and then it's going to be an EP, and then it turned into like 10 songs, and it was like, oh, this is a record, okay.
Jazz musician Briand Morrison at home in Grand Portage.
I wake up in the morning and I just have a tune in my head.
Coffee itself is interesting as a medium just because of the different qualities it can possess as far as paint, like a watercolor or acrylic.
And coffee artists and collaborators Angel and Angel Saur. These stories and more on this edition of The Playlist.
All you really want to know is how I became a runaway.
Funding for The Playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
She's a Minnesota-based singer-songwriter with a lot to say about growing up, chasing your dreams, and staying young. Please welcome Maddie Cedar to The Playlist.
Sometime like July, haven't seen the date in far too long. I don't know the time. I've always been closed off, but it's still ticking. Days don't stop for no one, even when you're young and alone. It's a little of a broken heart, screwed up from the start. You didn't think I was so reckless, asking now if I'm feeling okay. And all you really want to know is how I became a runaway. All you really want to know is how I became a runaway. I drove off one day just to lose a lot of faces, burn some bad memories up. When you didn't call to care, not coming back didn't seem so bad. Everyone has a vice, and maybe running's mine. It's a little of a broken heart, screwed up from the start. You didn't think I was so reckless, asking now if I'm feeling okay. All you really want to know is how I became a runaway. All you really want to know is how I became a runaway. I left what I knew
Now that I decided to do this project in conjunction with my dad's work, I wake up in the morning and I just have a tune in my head, and I work with that. My name is Briand Morrison. I live in Grand Portage, Minnesota. I'm a jazz guitar player. So I just did the loop, and now I'm going to start the loop and then try to come up with some sort of melody. I've decided that what would work best for me is completely free form. And so the idea is to look at the piece and do something I've never done before, right? I think it's fun, it's free. First I was going to sequence all of the images that I have in time order. Because his work changed from the 40s, the 50s, 60s. This is one of his Horizon series paintings that were done in the early 90s. I'm on a journey in my music, and every day I feel like I'm just starting to get it. I think he would be very pleased that I'm doing this and supportive. He did like the jazz that I played. So what happens is that I glance up and I see the horizon as, just at that moment. And then it reminds me of one of his Horizon paintings. The thing about his Horizon, that's something that we all have in common, that's something that we can all relate to. He sparks something in each of us, about our own horizon.
Coffee itself is interesting as a medium just because of the different qualities it can possess as far as paint, like a watercolor or acrylic. So it can be energizing and inspiring, of course. And then the fun part about it is a lot of people have a connection to coffee, a love of coffee, or things that they would do just for a cup of coffee. Well, I'm Angel Saur.
And I'm Angel Saur.
And we're coffee artists. We both liked painting with all kinds of things, and both created, and we were dating, and we liked going to Beaner's coffee shop. And
since it's taking place in a coffee house, let's try using coffee as a medium there too. So we tried different ideas of how to incorporate coffee into the artwork.
We tried to draw with coffee bean. Didn't work so well. I mean, a roasted coffee bean you'd think be like charcoal, but no. And then we tried some other things using it like a pigment, and then just knowing that coffee stains, we thought, let's try it like a watercolor. I think our first paintings were very different. Yes. Over the years we've learned and just discovered different techniques to get what we want. It's very refined now, and we don't even really think about what we're doing specifically to make it happen anymore. We just do it when we know what we need. If I need it fuzzy, I dry off my brush a little more, but keep it just the right dampness.
Working with coffee is very much like a watercolor, but it also has aspects of acrylics or oils too, where you can get these really nice thick textures onto the paintings too, and you can play with that as well.
Since we're working with just the color of coffee, the other elements of art, contrast and lines and things have to be really strong to make that piece really feel good. Yeah.
It's a great conversation piece too, so there's a lot of humor and very whimsical, so I think you can only have fun when you're painting with coffee. We can take our paintings, bring it into a computer animation software, and then make a 30-second film out of it and really make it come to life so that it can be shared anywhere.
It's fun, then we'll be working in a few different mediums with one piece.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun to keep working with it. I think something that's interesting to me, I think somebody else will hopefully find it interesting as well too.
Because art is so subjective, everyone will like a certain style or a certain subject matter. So as long as you're pleasing yourself artistically, I think there's going to be someone else out there who gets it.
I think this is just a couple in love going down a fjord in Norway and stopping halfway down the mountain to bring out the thermos and cheers to a hot cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. You can also hear them clinking.
Oh, yeah, I hear that.
All right.
As time has gone on, we've gotten to know each other and our strengths, and it's nice to have someone to bounce ideas off of, and someone you trust, and someone that you know is artistic and creative, and you trust their abilities. Yeah. So. Yeah,
it's fantastic to be able to collaborate on the person you're in love with, and we could create art together too, and I think it's very special, and have two signatures on a canvas is really unique, and I think it's wonderful.
So I wrote this one way back when I was 12, which was like not a lot long ago. And I actually wrote it for my cousin. She was dating someone that was based in Afghanistan. He was going to Afghanistan, and he was actually based in Georgia at the time. And she was flying out to see him from Minnesota, and so I wanted to write a song for them. So I went into my bedroom, and I wrote this in about an hour. It's called Georgia Skies. Every day you wish you weren't far away. Wish there was a way to make a million miles away seem less so distant. We've got the time to try and figure it out. Georgia skies aren't too far away. The stars late at night tell me things will be okay. 'Cause no matter how far, we'll make sure nothing tries to change us. just like you do every day. In these Georgia skies, the Georgia skies aren't too far away. The stars late at night tell me things will be okay. 'Cause no matter how far, we'll make sure nothing tries to change us. In these Georgia skies. Georgia skies aren't too far away. The stars late at night tell me things will be okay. 'Cause no matter how far, we'll make sure nothing tries to change us. In these Georgia skies.
Thank you.
We're in the studio with Maddie Cedar. Welcome to the playlist.
Thank you for
Maddie.
having me. I'm so excited to be here.
It's really awesome to have you in this space.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So.
Excellent. So tell me a little bit about what music inspires you. Are there musicians out there that clicked for you?
I started listening when I was like 12, 13. When I started like doing this, it was more like Taylor Swift and like stuff on the radio, but now I've been kind of getting into like vinyl records and stuff. So like a lot of Fleetwood Mac, and I don't know, basically anyone really, and just anyone that you can find that's like older music is really my favorite kind of stuff. I don't know.
I told you I had a would you rather for you, and it's kind of along the same lines. Would you rather have dinner with Patsy Cline, Dolly Parton, or Taylor Swift?
Oh man, I don't know. I would say, was Dolly Parton one of the? Yeah, I would say Dolly Parton, just because she's awesome. So.
Does she inspire you, or in that country mode, or how?
You know, I'm not like a big country person really anymore, but I think that she's just very like empowering. So I think hanging out with her would be really fun to do because she's awesome.
So when did the songwriting thing kind of click? I mean, at 12, really?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a writer. Like when I was really little, I would write like short stories, and like I still do. But I think I started playing guitar when I was 12 and singing, like taking vocal lessons. So I think around that time it all kind of like came together. Like the writing side was definitely first, but after I started getting into music, it just kind of came as one.
Tell me about your experience in Nashville. What connections do you have there, and what?
We started.
Have you
I mean,
learned?
it was originally going to be just a few co-writing sessions, just to kind of get out and be writing with other people, just because I write by myself all the time. And then I brought a few songs down there, and it ended up turning into, well, then it was going to be a demo, and then it was going to be an EP, and then it turned into like 10 songs, and it was like, oh, this is a record, okay. So we went down there 3 times, and I learned a lot, and I'm really proud of what came out of it, and the songs and how they sound, and just everything that kind of happened with it. So.
What's it like to play with a band of really accomplished people?
Yeah, I was really nervous because I had never done that before, and especially like doing like the rough tracks first, because they would do their parts and I would just sing like a rough vocal line, and like I was like, I don't know how to do this, and I don't want to like screw them up or anything. And it went really well though. I just kind of like sat there and sat in this little office chair with this little microphone, and just like they did their thing, and I was like, okay, yeah, okay, like so good. And and they just went off and did somebody else.
Who was the most interesting person you met while you were there?
Probably Chris Lusinger. He is Garth Brooks' studio guitar player. He is amazing and phenomenal and such a nice person too.
It's great to meet people who are still great people in the music industry, even though they have those incredible
you
experiences.
hear horror stories of people that are like super like, this is how it's gonna sound, and it's like, but it was great, and I was able to really like say like how I wanted it to sound, and it wasn't taken in a direction that I didn't want it to be. It was really like focused on how I wanted it to sound, so that was really great.
And is that where you're staking your future, or what do you know, where?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted, it was something that I wanted to do, and like moving to Nashville someday, or really anywhere, like bigger city, like music city. Like I love Duluth and I love the local music scene, and like how originality is so encouraged here, but I think like it'd be fun just to kind of like meet even more people than here in Nashville for sure. Feels a lot like home, so.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So I did want to ask you, kind of one of the questions that came out of our audience was, how do you develop that kind of stage presence and confidence standing up in front of people and playing your music?
It's really weird because I'm like the quietest person you'll ever meet at school. Like these kids, I remember when I started like playing like at choir concerts, like the preludes and stuff, the kids would be like, you talk? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, whoa. And yeah, so I mean, it's just kind of something that if I'm able to kind of tell a story, and I mean, people are like listening, which is really great too. I mean, obviously you want people to listen, but I think it's just one of those things that I feel a lot more comfortable talking on stage or with musicians or people involved in that than I do like with people that aren't necessarily like understanding of it. I don't know if that's, but I don't know, I just feel a lot more comfortable on stage.
This is the disc that's out,
Yes.
Runaway.
Yeah.
How do we keep following your music?
You can Google me. I don't know. There's a website in the works. We haven't really gotten it done yet, but Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I don't know. I'm a teenager. I have all of that stuff. I don't know what else is there. Anything else? You can just like write my name in the internet, and things will pop up. So.
Well, I hope great things keep popping
Thank
up
you.
for you. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Maddie. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
This is the first track, I believe, on my record, and it's called Stupid. And it's just about being young and being stupid. And sometimes you're not. I don't know. I guess I would remember more than you. But that wasn't supposed to be offensive either. I'm just saying I'm the youngest one, maybe the youngest one in the room. It's been nice for a long time, feeling alright. I'm broken, bored, and it's Friday night. The band's all here, gonna sing my songs. I've been quiet for 16 years of my life. Things are stacking up, gotta have that voice. Don't know where we're going, hope it'll be nice. 'Cause to be young is to be stupid. Blame it on the fact you don't know what you're doing. Out of line, not out of time. To be young is to be stupid. It's 5 a.m. and I can see the sun. Don't know where we are, but I think we're done. My phone's all dead, and it's time to go home. Can't help wondering what they thought of me, hearing my words and my melodies by the looks on their faces. Guess I'm not alone. 'Cause to be young too young to stop and think. No, I'm not too young to try this thing. No, I'm not too young to tell you how I feel. 'Cause to be young is to be stupid. Blame it on the fact you don't know what you're doing. Out of line, not out of time. To be young is to be stupid. Oh, oh. Thank you so much.